All right. You're recording.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
All right, let's see. You're just going to tell Noah, you're going to tell him, his main question is how do you get a construction loan, but how did you put together Mill Harbor?
Well, I got 30 people that I knew or got to know to put up $10,000 apiece. It came to $300,000, and we levered the whole project from that $300,000. We borrowed the money for the construction from Chase Manhattan Bank.
And how did they give you the money? You had to put together like a plan?
Yes, we pre-sold the units, and the deposit money on the condominiums was the cash that we levered it from.
So you pre-sold the units before you had the loan?
We pre-sold, I've forgotten what it was, 50, 60%, something like that. Yes.
And was everybody working on the same pay me later, like your architect, your advertising? Everybody was willing to wait till everything was sold?
Well, we had it 300,000, which wasn't much money by the standards of the whole thing. So we paid little bits here and there to get them to accomplish their...
With the idea being they'd get a lot more when it was done.
Right.
And what did you have to have? You had a marketing person. What was the team?
The marketing, architect.
Oh, sorry.
Architectural was Bill Siegel from Puerto Rico. Marketing was Patty Sullivan from St. Croix.
No, it wasn't Patty Sullivan for Mill Harbor. Patty Sullivan was for Schooner Bay. Because Mill Harbor, that logo of the mill was fantastic.
I don't remember who did it.
All right.
The painting in Mill Harbor that was so famous was Bud Hawes. Charles Hawes, local painter, very well thought of. You may be right about Patty Sullivan.
So did you do Schooner Bay exactly the same way you did Mill Harbor?
No. There we had a money loan, and Peter Behringer was my
Money man?
money man, yeah.
So you didn't have to get the construction loan, or you still got a construction loan?
Well, he got a construction loan.
So you pretty much were the marketing idea man?
Yeah. And sold him the land.
Ann? Who's Ann? And, oh, you sold them the land, yeah.
Yeah. So I pretty much picked the site. And I think Peter was in there. Peter was the one I sold Barrier Reef to, which became Colony Cove.
Wow. You sold them the whole building?
Yeah.
And then you condominiumized it?
Yes, as I recall. I sold, there were 60 units available. The others had been tied up with timeshare. I sold the 60 units in 6 months.
Wow. And what advice would you give Noah at age 19? What should he do?
actually, it would be listen to you, because you say I taught you a lot. You can teach everything I taught you.
I guess what I've learned is team. You got to bring in the right people.
Yes. And
That's all we are, as team leaders.
Yeah, that's right. Coordinators.
We find the people, we find the money, and we put it all together.
That's correct. And you certainly were an absolutely marvelous student, because you learned things from me I didn't know you learned from me, like localizing a lot of your attention, as you did in...
That's right.
What was the name of that?
Alexis Park, Monterey Estates.
The section, though.
Laguna Gardens.
Laguna Gardens.
Right.
And you must have... I used to say I built Mill Harbor, built 86 apartments and sold 200.
That's right.
I would think you did that in Laguna Gardens.
That's right.
Yeah.
Becoming the expert in a certain field or area.
It takes a lot of the pressure off of life, certainly. It's a lot easier than running harem-scarum all over Puerto Rico or St. Croix to find business. You become an institution in the area.
That's right.
You still do a lot in Laguna Gardens?
Yeah.
I bet you do. If you're in St. Croix, you do a lot in Goldenrod.
That's right.
Yeah. Because you know the area intimately. You know its history.
What should you tell Noah was the biggest mistake that you learned from?
Well, actually, the biggest mistake was not leaving St. Croix when Don Garrett's, who was his father, Edward J. Garrett's, was the contractor for Mill Harbor. And he was doing Henry Ford's project in St. Martin, the name of which I don't recall offhand. And they offered me the contract to do the marketing for that. Well, this was about the time of Fountain Valley, and St. Croix was going down the chute, and St. Martin was rising over the ashes of St. Croix. So that was the biggest mistake I think I ever made. I just moved the whole family to St. Croix, and I could not see moving everybody to St. Martin and starting all over again. But that would have been, that was highly successful. St. Martin boomed, and St. Croix did not.
And what was your biggest success?
Financially?
Anyway.
Well, I guess Mill Harbor was, because it brought about all the others.
And I think Mill Harbor, because you took the most amount of risk to give up your federal job.
Yes, to give up my business in Syracuse. But that was a high-risk proposition. But we hit the market in good shape.
And those partners fell together very quickly, didn't they? Hugh Bennett, all the people that were in the painting, they fell together in a flash, didn't they? Didn't you meet them all on your visit to St. Croix?
I met Bennett. I met Bud Hawes, the painter. Sven Anderson. Hugh Bennett worked with or for Sven Anderson.